Yes, I want to thank you so much for joining us on this show. This show is still the show we call Time Out with Dr. Alex Oti. Of course, you know that Dr. Alex Oti is the gubernatorial candidate of the Labour Party in Abia State. Court. Thank you very much once again for joining us on this program called Time Out with Dr. Alex Oti's Team. In the first edition, a lot of people expected Dr. Alex Oti to be on the show, but he wasn't on the show in our first edition. And this program, we will interact with so many of his team members, his campaign council team members, where we will dissect issues and plans and policies of the campaign council and the plans of Dr. Alex Oti if he emerges governor of Abia State. Surely, I must assure you that Dr. Alex Oti will also appear on this program one very good day. Of course, we will keep you abreast on the particular day he will show on this program, and you can also line up to ask your questions and participate in this live transmitted show. In this show today, I have with me the spokesperson of the Dr. Alex Oti campaign organization, the person of Mazi Ferdinand Ekoma. Ferdinand, you're welcome again.
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you once again to the people of the state. It's my pleasure being on the show.
During our first episode of this discussion, we looked at so many issues. You can still go back to our YouTube handle and search for that content. Just search for Time Out with Dr. Alex Oti's Team. You're going to see that first edition where we discuss a lot of issues that borders on speculations and opinions of people as regards the candidate of Dr. Alex Oti. Ferdinand was able to put out his views in respect to those issues. And today we are going into other discussions still on this particular, the candidacy of Dr. Alex Oti. I can assure you that in this program, we will speak to issues. As a journalist, we'll speak to issues. My job here is to make sure I extract the facts that you need to know from any spokesperson that appears on this show. And I want to say it again that other campaign councils can also come in and let us also discuss with them so that Abians and Nigerians can be educated very much on their plans and policies which they have lined up for Abia State people. Yes, Ferdinand, you're welcome again.
Thank you.
Your campaigns are kicking off, and I can see that your principal has been receiving a lot of people. But let me just start with, how has the campaign been? What's the latest with your campaign?
The tempo is building up, and we are making inroads, we are making progress. Once you know where you're going, once you know where you're headed, and of course you remain focused. And very interestingly, a lot of Abians, even those who were in a state of indecision, are also aligning with us because they can clearly see what we are bringing to the table. They can see what we are discussing. We are discussing issues We are discussing what Alex Otti is going to do. We are telling them what he had done. We are telling them what he's capable of doing. So all these factors have really enabled the tempo for us to build a kind of tempo of positivism in our engagements. So the campaign is really moving very well. We are doing a lot of things, reaching out, like I said last time, we are reaching out. Politics involves engagements, you reach out, alignment, realignment, and all the rest of them. So we are engaging with the public, we are engaging with audience, we are engaging with groups, and we are seeing very positive results. And we are convinced that the days ahead would bring a lot of fortunes.
Okay, to bring Abians abreast to what we also did a few days ago, we went on a voter sensitization. We tried to see how residents of Abia State, what they know, if they can actually identify these candidates. And if you go to our YouTube handle, you will also, our YouTube is AF Television on YouTube. You will watch the extensive video of our interaction with people, and people were able to identify some candidates, and we're also not able to identify some candidates. Of course, during that interaction, we found that there are major candidates that people were able to identify with, and Dr. Alex Otti is one of them. And then we also had the PDP governorship candidate, which is Uche Ikonde. We have the APC, we have the YPP. So we'll be continuing with this engagement, and we need you to support us. We need your sponsorship to enable our team consistently go outside to engage the public and educate them more. Let's come back to the studio. Ferdinand, you talked about alignment and realignment. Is Dr. Alex Otti going to align with any candidate? Is he stepping down for any candidate?
Of course, alignment doesn't. You know those who should align. You understand that Alex Otti is a front runner. Dr. Alex Otti is a major contender. Dr. Alex Otti has been, predicted to win the governorship election. And the factors that would enable that prediction to come to accomplishment are very glaring. Election is about the individual first. So it's very important. No matter the party you're using to run, if as an individual, there are certain positions that people don't compromise, and when it comes to certain positions, people don't compromise. You see, governorship, you see, presidential, people will look at you. Where elections are done in a transparent manner, it's usually difficult for those who are projected to win, those who have what it takes to win. Very difficult for them to lose. So Alex Otti is being projected to win the election. And those who have seen it, who are seeing the signs, are realigning and aligning with him. Some of them are living where they are. And you are going to see it manifest. You're going to see such endorsements as time goes on, because people know that he stands the best chance. And if you are Mr. A and you find out that you running would bring unnecessary distraction, because every vote in this kind of election counts, every vote matters, and you find out that, no, I'm not going to win this election, I don't stand a chance of winning this election, and it will make sense for me to align with this man, because what we are talking about here is a very important project that has to do with the welfare and well-being of Abia. So let me align. So people are actually aligning with Alex Otti, aligning with the Labour Party, because we parade the best, and we are hopeful that it's going to manifest.
Okay, let's even go into another incident that happened this week, where Dr. Alex Otti is based on feelers on the ground and people's opinions. He's also viewed as one of the strong candidates that will get a lot of support from Abia North. But a group have said that the Abia North people have adopted the ADC governorship candidate, the person of Bishop Sunday Onoha. Don't you think that will snatch up the chances of Dr. Alex Otti to get votes from Abia North, being that the group alleges that Abia North people have adopted Bishop Sunday Onoha?
Well, these are funny times when we hear funny stories, funny things. With due respect to Bishop Sunday Onoha, I know he's a better man from my own local government, it is from Italy. And if you go there and run an opinion poll, you find that the majority of Italy people, majority of the people are overwhelmingly going to vote for Alex Otti. They have done it in the past, and they are going to do it once again. Again, it's important, and I've always said this, and it's important people understand this clearly. Alex Otti's candidacy cuts across sectional, political, religious, and whatever lines you may think of. Alex Otti is an Abia candidate. He's an Abia, the Abia man's project. So Alex Otti's candidacy has nothing to do with North or South. It has everything to do with other states. If you want to govern a state, first and foremost, because it's always important we say this, you should be concerned about developments in that state. If you want to be governor, I say this to everyone, if you want to preside over the affairs of Abia, you know, you will pray to preside over the affairs of a state that is alive, not a state that is dead. And here, we know that there is only one outstanding man who has been the lonely voice in the wilderness in terms of political leaders, in terms of those who want to be governor. And that voice is Alex Otti. Alex Otti has shown, you don't miss words in saying this, he has shown capacity, he has shown consistency, he has shown commitment, he has shown tenacity, he has shown patriotism, he has shown altruism in defending the Abia cause, in projecting, in protecting, in pushing for the well-being and welfare of Abians.
Other people have also, other people also have been doing that who are government aspirants.
People who are talking about this section, this zone, like I asked, and I will always ask, when will it be the turn of Abians? It is the turn of Mr. A, turn of Mr. B, turn of Mr. C. You find that there are the same people who have come out from their shells to talk about the turn have never opened their mouth to ask the government the power to pay pension, which the government has refused to pay. You've never asked the government to pay workers who are being heavily owed. You've not cared to say, what are you doing with our local government allocations? I was in my local government headquarters yesterday. Go there, it's an eyesore. You will cry. No single evidence of development. No single evidence of existence of government. It's atrocious. I'm telling facts that are verifiable. People can.
Are you saying your local government is in comatose?
It's in comatose. It's a waiting internet, and it's a very painful development. So we are saying you shouldn't be concerned about. Hey, it is so. It is so. When you listen to people who talk about it, you see they are talking about their selfish interest. It is inevitable that zoning, where necessary, where properly done, where it's pro people is done. There's nothing wrong with zoning. So I'm not opposed to that. But we are saying that zoning should not override the interest, the well-being of Abians. And that you who wants to push for zoning, which is good, ensure that you are altruistic in it. Ensure that you have been alive in asking how are the people doing. For example, we keep saying it here that the state is heavily indebted. Now, you will go after election, you disappear, you go to sleep. And somebody is here accumulating loans, accumulating debts for the state. You don't know that if the state is bankrupt, that you will not be able to provide services to the people as a government. That if the state is allowed to, to be plunged into a irredeemable state of indebtedness, that you as a governor will find it extremely difficult to do well. And that is one of the reasons we are saying at this moment, you don't need someone that is coming for experiment. You need someone, a financial expert in the caliber of Alex Otti, somebody that is exposed, somebody that is experienced, somebody that has network of contacts like Alex Otti, a proven manager of men and resources. So that is what we are talking about. So Alex Otti, like I said, is a candidate for all.
You just said that Alex Otti will beat Sondono and Bende.
Definitely overwhelming.
Okay, there's something you said now that's very interesting that Abians would like to know. You've talked about the local government, your local government being in comatose. Yes. I would want to ask, even though we're still expecting that the manifesto of Dr. Alex Otti will come out anytime soon, so that we can interrogate it. Sure. What is the plan of Dr. Alex Otti as regards local government? Will he make sure that the fundings of local government go to the local governments direct?
Of course. You see, that is why
That's what we can hold on your word that is going to let them get their funds directly.
Sure. You see, when you have an organized system, a transparent system, you do the right thing, and there will be room for checks and balances. The energy deployed by these governors, in fighting local government funds, because that's what most of the governors do. The energy should actually be deployed in ensuring the management of those resources. You are from Isukwato, for example.
Yes, I'm from Isukwato.
Good, people have either 10 or 11 words, I can't remember. Now, you receive up to 170, 180 million. Imagine where that amount of money is pumped in your local government, or let's say 70% of the money, and maybe you use the rest to pay salaries. You pump 70% of, you know how Isukwato will be. Every ward in Isukwato will be, will have all those basic amenities. I'm talking about local government. I'm not talking about state funds that are coming from. I'm just talking about local government education. If Isukwato is getting 170 million, for example, of course they get more than that as a benchmark. That means in a year, Isukwato would have gotten over 2 billion naira. You know what it means when you put 2 billion naira in Isukwato, local government alone. So what it implies is that you people will you create your feeder roads, you will build health centers, you will be able to build toilets and all the rest of them, so that people who have any need to be going to the bushes to answer the call of nature. You will do a whole lot of other things, have water and all the rest of them. We are just talking about local government allocation, and that is the only way you can activate development in the state. But you are not doing it. Government people are indulging in outright theft, because there's no other justification. And you go to your own, even local government headquarters, no health center, nothing exists at all. So it's actually provocative. So if something has always told you the things he will do to ensure that the economy is alive, to ensure economic growth, to ensure job creation, and if he could be saying all those things, then of course naturally you should know that he will do the needful to ensure that the local governments are functional and effective, to the point that they will be able to carry out development projects, and by so doing, those things will impact positively on the economy of the state as a whole. And of course, one of the challenges we have this thing creates is rural-urban migration. By doing that, you would have turned rural-urban migration, the crazy rural-urban migration, which is also affecting the cities, because the infrastructures are getting overstretched. People are abandoning their villages to come to town to do nothing, because most of the communities, most of the local governments are sleeping, and it's a very sad development.
Okay, yes, we are still on the program Time Out with Dr. Alex Oti's team, and the spokesperson of the campaign organization of Dr. Alex Oti, Ferdinand Ikoma, is in the studio, and he has assured us that when Dr. Alex Oti emerges as governor of Abia State, that he will make sure that the fundings which is accrued to local government get to them, so that they can be able to develop the local government simultaneously as he too will be developing other areas of the state. Am I correct? Okay, we are still on this show. Let's go to another interesting issues. Over the week, we'll be seeing images and videos of different forms of endorsement visits, people even bringing campaign material to your principal.
Sure.
And a lot of endorsement. And what exactly we've seen the PWDs, we've seen so many kind of groups coming around. We've seen that. So what is driving those movements for endorsement and support?
Conviction of capacity. They are convinced this is what will be handled. They are convinced. They've done the assessments. Most of these groups, and most of these groups are very critical. Are critical stakeholders. Like the other persons with disabilities. They came in their large numbers to visit Dr. Alex Oti. He had a fantastic interactive session with them, where they highlighted their plans, and of course he spoke to them. They said they are convinced of his capacity. People living with disabilities are human beings. They are stakeholders. They have roles to play in the economic development of the state, and of course they deserve to live like it. That's just one of the groups. I'm using them as a reference point here. What Dr. Alex Oti told them are the things he's going to do. He will initiate policies and programs that would affect them positively, whether you like it or not. people who are disabled in one way or the other are to an extent, having some deficiencies. Okay, they are, they lack the certain advantages some physically fit persons enjoy, and that is why government must be intentional in creating the necessary platform, the necessary atmosphere that will help make life worth living for them. If you are educated or a graduate, you are disabled, a responsible government naturally should give you a job. Naturally should give you a job, so that you will not suffer the same pressure that will even double what other people are suffering. So when you create that platform or create an enabling environment or give you the necessary economic incentives that could help you to do that. So these people are analyzing. Of course, most of them are very sound, very educated and exposed. Everybody had a group of professors that came, a group very respected professors. They came in a large numbers to interact with him. These are developments we are seeing on a daily basis. We are not playing politics. We are talking reality here, and they are seeing the reality of what Alex Otti is saying. Alex Otti has been shouting since 2015, talking about the rocks. Alex Otti has not shut his mouth. You know that as a corporate person, as a chief executive in the bank, you are not allowed to discuss these things. You can't come out, maybe as a bank CEO, and begin to criticize the state government. You don't do it. Alex Otti knows that restriction for him to be able to have that freedom to confront what is happening in Abia, the rocks that became an embarrassment to him and other respected Abians, that he will need to do something extraordinary. And that something extraordinary he did was to voluntarily retire and physically get involved. That's it. So when some of them thought, hey, where was he? I said, were you expecting maybe a branch manager here, even a local branch manager here, to come out here and begin to, this is a manager. We are talking about management. You are managing an institution. So it's not allowed. But Alex Otti has proven that he has a capacity, that since he left the banking industry, he has remained focused, committed, dedicated, courageous in doing it. That is what sets him aside. And these people have been taking note. All these groups have been taking note of all his activities. Therefore, compared all the things he has said, his consistency and everything with what he had done in the past, and they are convinced that the man has rich knowledge and has the willpower to give him that responsible government.
Okay, still on the PWDs, I want to ask, is there any particular assurance that Dr. Alex Otti gave to them during that interaction that they went home with?
Of course, most of your members will be offered automatic jobs. Those who are qualified will be done. Those who may not have the necessary maybe educational qualification and all the rest of them will be assisted. They will be given the necessary economic empowerment to just engage in something productive for themselves, for the families, and for the society. They have roles to play. Every citizen is of great importance to the society. Of course, once the energies are utilized, once your energies are properly utilized, just like this army of unemployed youths that are roaming around, some of them that are constituting themselves, there are better ways to engage them. Then because you've not created any job, because you've not done anything, you don't even know where to put them. So you prefer keeping them, by the side, with the intention of using them during elections. Of course, we just heard that our governor has dissolved his SSA. You know what is going to happen?
Yes, nothing has happened yet, so we don't know anything. Still on that issue, we also saw people, in this our climb is a climb where a politician is expected to bring money for everything, to pay for everything. But we saw people bringing campaign material to Dr. Alex Otti. What was were they trying to do trade by barter?
That is how it's done in advanced democracies. I followed the election of Barack Hussein Obama. They listened to him. And they believed, most of his supporters, no Democrats, most people who had not voted in their lives before, were convinced that Barack Hussein Obama was the real deal, was a new dawn. They queued behind him. People make contributions to support his own presidential election. That's how it's done. It's not here that everybody wants to collect money from a candidate or an aspirant. because why do people do these things? People besiege you because they feel you are going there to eat. So whatever we can get from you now, let's take it from now. These politicians are dishonest. They are dishonest. But most people that come to the yes, he gives. That's what he gives. You know, supports most institutions and all the rest of them. But a lot of people who are coming are bringing their widows' mics, saying this exercise book, this flag, this speaker, this we are using it to support your campaign, because they are convinced that this is a government that would impact positively on their lives. Government is an institution. Once you build an institution, I will be a beneficiary, you will be a beneficiary. I may not need to be an appointee of your government for me to benefit. Like I said, if Isukwato, people are giving their allocations, you will be able to develop Isukwato. So you don't need to be an SSA or whatever to be relevant or to, you know, to survive economically. Again, assuming that that your Omasua road had not been built, which Alex Otti had not been built, and he wants to build a road. I said, okay, you people are into road construction. I say, AFNEWS, we are giving you this project. If the project is worth 100 million naira, for example, when you execute that project, you would have achieved a lot of things. One, as a contractor, you made profit. You would have brought development to your people. The government would have discharged its responsibilities. You would have alleviated the sufferings of your people. That's what governance is all about. So it's not about stealing our money, coming to share money to individuals. Like some people are hoarding billions of naira with the intention of buying votes. That's what you're doing. That is slavery, and it is condemnable.
Yes, we are still on this show, Time Out with Dr. Alex Otti. I told you earlier on that we had stormed the street of Umuahia where we interacted with Abians and residents in Abia State as regards the 2023 election. That is a voter awareness program, and a lot of people showed that they can't even identify the candidate. So I still want to go to our site and watch that video. We'll also very soon, in no short time from now, come up with a mock election.
That would be fantastic. That would be very fantastic.
Where we want to sensitize the people and put them ready for the forthcoming 2023 election. So let's go back to our discussion, Ferdinand Ekoma. We had this allegation that your members were having a meeting, Labour Party members were having a meeting in Obingwa local government area, and they were attacked. We've been trying to get facts as regards this particular issue. And now that you're in studio, let's ask you, what exactly transpired?
Okay, we had our people, party members and stakeholders in Obingwa who wanted to converge for a meeting. As they were about converging, some hoodlums stormed the area in a branded Sienna branded with the picture of the governor and even the governor's aide, carried one chief Chimala Machuku. It's a big respected stakeholder who resides in Lagos, took him away. The next thing they did, we heard, when they started searching for the man, they now learned the man had been dumped somewhere at a particular police station. Our people, of course, besieged them. Inquiries were made. They claimed that the man was trying to set up a parallel government in the community. Of course, pressure came from different quarters from our leaders, including Dr. Alex Otti and most of our political leaders there, brought pressure to bear. And of course, they had no choice than to release the man. From what we discovered, the actual plot was to actually arraign him in a particular magistrate court and the next day remand him in prison. But it turned out to be that the day this happened was the day the valedictory session for this Argon City was taking place. So that was actually what prevented them. And so when they were besieged, the pressure, they had to release the man and said he should come back later. So it's provocative, it's condemnable. We have continued to say this. If you have done well, you shouldn't be afraid of people exercising their democratic and constitutional rights. You are on your own. You have your own supporters in different local governments. I don't think you will be happy if you hear that supporters are being attacked in Sukwata or being attacked in Bende or being attacked in Arojuba and all the rest of them. So this penchant for attacking people is more pronounced in Abia South and Abia Central part of the state, and Abia Central the other part of Abia Central. That's where these things are very common and they are condemnable, even the destruction of people. So we are not happy about it. We are doing well in Obing, but we shouldn't be afraid. People who were deceived with clannish Mobo Jumbo in 2015 have realized that they've seen the truth. They've seen the failure of the present government, and nothing is at stake for them. So they want to chart a new course, and a new course with Alex Otti, whom they are convinced has the capacity to bring real development to Obingwa. There's no real development there. It's a matter of having 100 appointees, people you pay 70K every month. Your government will come to an end. The question is, what will become of the fate of those guys when your tenure comes to an end? So you should allow a government that is coming, that will create sustainable employment for them. Even somebody 70,000, 100,000 monthly stipend is no job. It's not sustainable. The day the government comes to an end, the person becomes poor. He might resort to kidnapping or even other criminal acts for economic survival. So we are saying, we are still making an appeal. We are still calling on the government to restrain their supporters from engaging in these acts of violence. We are brothers and sisters. It's our state. If you say you have done well, fantastic. Present your facts of performance to the people and get them convinced to go and vote for you. I don't even know why anybody, if for example the ruling government should be afraid of what will happen in Obingwa. Obingwa should be your biggest bet to win the election and say, for what I have done, no opponent, no opposition should even get a single vote in Obingwa because of the transformation we have brought. But we know you have not brought any transformation, because as big as Obingwa, you still have thousands of unemployees. There are no real infrastructure you brought there with all the fantastic, beautiful, and arable lands you have in Obingwa. No single investment in agriculture to engage, employ people, men and women. So we are appealing to them that they should stop this. It does not work.
Okay, still on this particular issue, we will also be doing more research to actually get to know exactly what is the position of the other party that is involved in this matter, to know exactly what transpired. But again, your House of Representative candidate for Isialangwa North and South Federal Constituency, in the person of Honorable Ginger Musibe, who is also a current House of Assembly member representing Isialangwa North State Constituency, seems to be under series and series of different petitions, back-to-back petitions. In our social media lingua, they will say I've been collecting woto from all angles.
He can.
What exactly is the issue? Is it that he has a lot of trouble for himself, or what do you think? What is the position on those issues?
If they believe he has done anything, they know what to do, but they have refused to do those things because they know they have nothing against him. That is the truth. They know they don't have anything. If they had anything against him, they wouldn't have even been bothering themselves. They would have taken the right route to execute it, but they've not. So what they are doing is to bring state-sponsored pressure, state-sponsored attack, state-sponsored, all kinds of.
You are saying that the attacks on him is state-sponsored?
Of course. So, but they can't achieve anything. That is why we keep warning. No matter what, we're not telling you any politician is sent. We're not telling you Honorable Ginger Musibe is sent. You understand? But it is clear to the blind and to the deaf that the man has performed very well, to the satisfaction of his people. So the support is overwhelming. The support is massive. So it is natural for his opponents to feel scared and frustrated and frightened. And in trying to repel him, they have resorted to self-help, which cannot yield any result. Because this thing is nothing but an exercise in futility. You're just wasting your time. He will win, and he will win convincingly. So, if you can convince...
his major candidate, his major opposition is that of the PDP, a professor for that matter.
It's not only PDP that is in the election.
Are you saying that the other candidates are scared of Honorable Ginger Musibe?
Of course they are. He's on ground, like I told you. He's on ground. He has done well. He's still doing well. He's still confident of winning. He's still mobilizing his people because he knows that in the end, it's still his people that will cast the votes for him. It's still the people, the masses that will decide who wins. So everybody should go and look for votes. Go and convince the people. This is the time. What's it here? This is the time. These are the things I have done for you. This is the time to reward me. And I think That is what Honorable Dindo Musibe is telling
for those who don't understand what OTTI'S means, OTTI'S means the time is set. Is OTTI'S is an abbreviation of the time is now. The time is now for the hard work to be done. Okay, while we are trying to round up, we have on this program, I assured our viewers that we are going to look at the manifesto. We are going to critique the manifesto. We are going to ask the how about the manifesto, so that the people can actually understand what exactly they are supporting and what are the basis of support. If not for this our climb, where issues of tribe, issues of ethnicity comes up, what we should be concerned about is if you are a retiree, you be considering what is the manifesto. In the manifesto, what's the plan for the retirees? If you are a worker, you should be concerned about in this manifesto what is the plan for workers. Those should be the positions or the policies that will motivate our decision in voting anybody. So when are we expecting this manifesto of Dr. Alex Oti to come out?
Okay, thank you. For me, it's a very interesting question. Very interesting question. First, on the 7th of July, Dr. Alex Oti will do a mini declaration in his local government, Sialamba South local government of the state. He will do a mini declaration. After that, on the 10th of November, I said the mini declaration, 7th of November. Then on the 10th of November, next month, he will do the earth-shaking declaration, flag off, in Aba, precisely at Umba High School, which will have the creme de la creme of Adria, the creme de la creme of Nigeria, in attendance, and of course, which will also feature the incoming president of Federal Republic of Nigeria, Mr. Peter Gregory. He will be in attendance, and that is the day the manifesto that would activate, that will herald the new dawn for Nigeria will be unveiled. It will be unveiled on the 10th. It's almost here, on the 10th of November. The manifesto will be made open, and Nigerians will be able to access the contents. But it's also important to add that no manifesto is more important. No manifesto is bigger. No manifesto is more useful. And no manifesto is more impactful than who you are, what you know. And I think that is also the position of Mr. P2P. Because it's easy to get professors to prepare a manifesto for you and read out all the promises on earth, what you will do, revolution in agriculture and others, and in the end, if you do not have the capacity, you don't have it, you can't give what you don't have. But the interesting thing here is that whatever you're going to see in the manifesto is a reflection of who Alex Oti is. It is a reflection, it will be a reflection of what he will do as governor. So we are convinced the manifesto is rich. This time around, if anything, he has added more to the things, because the deterioration, the decay, has actually gotten to a more dangerous dimension. Because when you are going to generate revenue to work, because having borrowed heavily, having got indebted, there are certain restrictions a heavily indebted state suffers. And of course, it's already there, it's already there as one of the states that cannot borrow again. You can't borrow because you have crossed the threshold. So you are not healthy enough to borrow again. That is what it means. So if you do not have a governor that is skilled, if you do not have a governor that has that network of contact, that can even convince a financial institution and say, see what I can do, convince investors to invest, of course you will be here and wait for 4 years to come down, and you don't disappear. You just answer a governor, a former governor. But Alex Oti is not interested in answering a former governor. He wants to be remembered. He would like to be remembered as a governor that came and rewrote the history of his people and will go down in history as a legendary governor. So the manifesto is going to be, and I'm using this opportunity as well, of course, to inform our people that it will be on the same day that Alex Oti will flag off his campaign.
Okay, the spokesperson of the campaign council of Dr. Alex Oti have unveiled to us and revealed to us that Dr. Alex Oti will be doing a mini campaign or a mini flag off on the 7th in his hometown, Isialongwa North or South. Isialongwa South, you'll be doing a mini flag off there. Then on the 10th, you'll be doing his major flag off, which will hold where at Abazungwa High School, and then during that particular major flag off, that is when the manifesto will be unveiled to Abians, their manifesto and their positions. Yes, as we are rounding up this interaction this moment, I'll be giving Ferdinand 1 minute to tell Abians 3 things why Alex Soti should be considered first before another candidate.
1, let's look at it. Antecedents. His antecedents. It's been trajectory of excellence. Look at his trajectory. Full of excellence. Devoid of controversies. Devoid of debts. Your trajectory is important. Your accomplishments are important. That's number 1. 2, consistency and commitment to that cause. He has been consistent. He has been committed. He has shown passion and resilience. These are important traits. If he hadn't it, he would not be here today. Very important we state this. If he hadn't these threats I mentioned, Alex Soti would not be here, considering what happened in 2015, which you and I know. So his consistency and commitment, put together with his capacity and this that I mentioned, these factors, and the third is here. Alex Soti is like the unifier. He's like the character.
The unifier.
Oh no, his character here. His character. He will always tell you that it is more honorable to have a verbal agreement with a man of principle, a man of character, than to have a written agreement with a thief. His character is key. His character makes him reliable. If he can't do it, he will tell you no. If he can do it, he will say yes. So if you're looking for a man whose word is bankable. So his character. These are 3 factors I believe Abians should look at, should take into consideration, because these things are not hidden. We are talking about somebody, because people will tell you, it's important to say, Alex Soti is strict. They view it from that perspective. When some people interact with him, they will find out a real person. And it is good to be principled in governance, to be strict. Because when you come here, sign all kinds of stupid agreements, you know you can't keep. Make all kinds of fake promises. Sell off the state because you just want to be governor. What does it say about you? It shows you have no character. And what that implies is that if you find yourself in a difficult situation, you can trade off the entire state just to be a governor. You can abandon the state, you can abandon the people. So that character is key. Some people may not like it. Some people may think it's not political. They want you to do things everything in the political way. Yes, we know we want to win the election. But it's better we tell you the truth. That's the Alex Soti's position. It is better make promises that I can keep. It's better I tell you the truth. Because all the people who have been winning, it's not winning an election. That's not all that matters. What matters is what you do with the mandate after winning that election. So that's the difference.
Thank you very much, Ferdinand Ekoma, for coming to today again. Thank you, Abians and Nigerians, for listening to this episode of Time Out with Dr. Alex Oti's team. And I can assure you that Dr. Alex Oti will participate in this program very, very soon. Just get ready. We will inform you on that particular day, and I know you will have a lot of things to ask him on that particular day. Thank you so much for joining us. You can watch the first episode of this program on our YouTube handle. Just go there, look for Time Out with Dr. Alex Oti. You see a particular team, Time Out Alex Oti. You can now watch our first episode, and also don't forget that next week we'll still be on this program where we'll also discuss issues. Thank you and God bless you. My name remains Emenike Rebo, the anchor of this program, Time Out with Dr. Alex Oti. God bless you.
Now freely, unlike before.
All right, guys, I come all the way to Umuahia, the capital of Abia State. Here is the center of Umuahia. They call it Ishi Gate, and Ishi Gate is where you will see a lot of gridlock and traffic at this particular position. I want to tell you that a lot of people here are really into business, both clothes business, shoe business, transportation, food business, and a whole lot of things. And in this same season is a season of politics. And I want to ask a lot of people if actually they know their candidates. And I also have a game here that if they can identify who are on this card, I'll be dashing people 500 naira recharge card. I want to see if whether people really know go-back candidates in Abia State. My name is Thompson, and this is Street Plus. All right, good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon, Michael.
You are from Abia State.
Yeah.
And this is election time. Do you know?
I know.
Okay. And what is this place called?
Hey, y'all, come look at this. It's called Ogumabri Market.
I thought it's called Easy Gate.
No, that's how people it's what people formulated, past years, back in the years. But what Ibekuland called this place Ogumabri Market. That belongs to Ibekuland.
You mean this way they talk?
2023 is a year for election, and a lot of people they file in to contest for governor in Abia State. Do you know some of those candidates?
Okay.
I know some of them.
Okay.
Like Chimanwa
for.
I know.
Which party?
Chimanwa for YPP.
Okay.
I know Alex Oti,
Labour Party.
I know Greek Ibe, Apoga.
Correct.
I know Uchiko Nepidi.
Correct.
I know something.
You say Uchiko PDP.
Uchiko.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
That is correct.
No, I know this man. Keonyi Sukwato, ADC, Sunday Ndukwanoha.
Correct.
That's all for now.
That's all for now. And their parties.
My good brother, right side in Abia State, what we have here is PDP.
Well.
Okay, who is the candidate for
PDP? Ikonne.
Professor Ikonne.
Professor Ikonne.
Okay.
Oh, mascot also. We have
mascot Uzo Kalu. Which party?
What is the name of their party? NMPP or whatever.
APP.
We have Greg.
Ibe, which party?
Abga.
Okay.
We have APC.
Okay. APC, who is the candidate?
What is the name of my brother? Is our elder statement.
Ikeche Menike.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Any other person?
We know we have many political parties.
You don't know Apostle Ngosika?
Which from which?
SDP.
SDP. Okay, yeah.
You know her. What about Bishop Onoa?
They are all the they are not a contestant. They are no longer contestants again. They are in Mayfield to play the game.
What the heck?
Okay, do you mean they are not contestants? How? What if they come to win your candidate? Who is your candidate?
My candidate, my good brother. I prefer, sometimes we say the angel is more better than a devil you don't know.
Who is the angel?
PDP is what I know.
All right, so you want to vote PDP?
That's my party.
Oh, what is the logo of PDP?
Umbrella that will cover us.
Umbrella?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, please, what's your name?